Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to today's story. From the middle of the forest. He has been living in the forest for years, and they have a daughter who is easy. Say, they are the animals and the animals. Now you'll be wondering what it is. He said he didn't have to stay in the forest. The answer will be at the end of the story. But there, reaching to reach, there are some things that come before you that are the story. They will change the whole way. Tony takes his daughter Elena into the woods and they both check the trap they set. They find the trap empty even though the animal was trapped in it. But he is rescued by someone who saw Elena and said, "Is he back? The wolf is here because it is before. It's on." But Tony didn't think so, so they moved on. Some of the new ones are on the other side. Clara goes to the shop and sells animal skins, and she gets a lot of money because the animals were so small. The shopkeeper said they get so little because the animals were so small. And the merchant said, "If he takes a wolf's skin, he'll get more money, but he'll get more money. It was easy for him to do that. Then they will find a new home with a good job." It was written about Clara not wanting to. He was in the forest because his life was gone. But now she will not do this to her daughter. She wants her and her children to go to school with a good education. But she is only forced by money. She came home with the goods and started cooking. Tony told her daughter how to extract the same skin from the animals. She was eating. Now the food is ready. Then they took out the trap that they had set today, and then the sun burned, because no one had told her about it. And she burned on her leaves and said, "How long shall we live in this humiliated life? You have chosen such a life. Then I have accepted it as truth in what you say." But has she no choice about our daughter? I've seen some efficiency at the shop. There's a good job at it working in it. We'll be able to raise some money that will also get a nice house in the city. At least get rid of this forest. So don't miss Tony Tess. He clearly refuses, saying, "As we have done, so have the generations to come. Do not say yes and yes. The wolf I will tomorrow. Then we will have to eat." Lara understood that her leaves would never leave the forest because she did not like to work and she did not want to give her daughter such a life. Then we saw Tony going out to hunt, but the wolf stopped him and insisted that she would come with him. But when Clara woke up and saw that there was no softness in the house, she immediately contacted Tony on the radio and began to scold him as to why he had taken her. So Tony assures him that he is not afraid, as if it will feel like something dangerous, and he will send her home. So they began to go forward, but he did not see it. But his father went forward, and he saw what he was seeking. He immediately returned his daughter. They said, then he turned his back on the house. Tony sat down with a gun. Then he was able to kill the wolf, and he was taught. Then there are strange sounds. Whoever is afraid of him is afraid of him. Then he turned towards a stone, and then towards it. He quickly left his house. The sound of a gunshot in the middle of it meant that Tony has taken a hit, but the bullet did not hit the victim, but the victim. He went to the side to check something. Then he saw the wolf. The one who stood there was actually eating. And it was the hand of man, and it was the hand of man. How did he find it in the forest? The noises are now growing, which makes Cornswift feel a little afraid. But not only do they hear these terrible sounds, but Clara, who has taken water, realizes that she immediately runs home and leaves everything behind. Both of them were in the woods. Then he goes along the path to find him. And then the mountains, which are likely to be man-made. They created themselves so that they would not be guided. When he came to a place, he found a chair. As he approached it, his brain went from sun to sun, actually around there. Only the girls were kittens. Then the man, who had never been afraid of the fear of God, and the man who had never been afraid of the fear of God, and the man who had never been afraid of the fear of God, returned to his house. Everybody watches the night when they eat. Everyone can be afraid of something. Neither Tony nor Sophie slept. Everything is hungry because it is hungry. Then he shall return to his prayer. Why is it that he doesn't have to take his own life? Then he got up early in the morning. And then he left. Saw? He is not at home. He immediately radios them. The wolves came to believe in him. He might not think about it, but the truth. I went back to the place where Tony met these girls. Then he saw the bodies, because they were not wolves. The killer was looking for something else or the forest. I only live who? Women and girls hunt around at home when soft. So, then both mothers and daughters went to the river. Then he saw Sophie there, but he didn't have a dog, so he found it. And then in front of them. Then the wolf came to them, and the wolf came to them. Then he began to fear what he had done. She has been living here for years and knows what to do in such situations. But if she is faced with what she has done, what will she do? We do not yet have the answer to this question, but what can be learned? Immediately they came home, but just stubbornly trying to find their dog. So his mother took him out with a gun and started looking for him. During this time, she found him dead under a cliff. She is scared to see his condition because he was also part of his cult. He didn't just tell them, he lied. And when his death comes, we will find him. Indeed, they will. He does not want to hear the news of his death and fear more. Don't take any wrong steps in that direction. 2 days later, Tony didn't know what to do. He has not returned home, but his radio is shut down. And then she repeatedly contacts him, trying to. Then when they eat for a week, they eat. No. Then you have the chickens that you have made. It happened today. Then they ate the food before them. Something a little different today. I went to the wolf. When Clara saw a girl, she realized that the situation had become more serious. She had to do something quickly, or her hunger would grow, and if that happened, she could get into trouble. She immediately went to danger so that they could tell about the wolf. In the middle of it, we saw head Sharif, who was bringing Palo from the big one who was dead. They found him in the backyard of a man, but they did not know how he died. On the forested road, they didn't pay much attention and moved on. Now, when the citizens came to the station, there was already Clara who told them everything and showed them the colors she had found this morning. But Danger says he can't do anything about it because the wolf is doing what he's been doing for years. That's what nature is doing. So you guys are hunting animals in the wild, and maybe there's a hunter who believes in an animal, and he's hunting that animal himself. So if there is an action, it will be on you guys, not on this animal. It's just filling its stomach. Clara doesn't like this answer. She doesn't argue much, otherwise they'll shut her down. So she came home, but now she has no food. So they had to hunt down the child of Kern, but now they had to do the same to fill the sinful stomach, otherwise they would starve to death. Tony taught his daughter to separate the skin. And then, the child of the serpent. Then they eat it, and then they eat it. Asked. He said, "It's been more than a week." There was no answer to that, so it was nothing. He said, something went right on the radio. He went out, but then again, was it Tony? He is in trouble. I am, in the middle of the night. Clara was thinking about the same thing. I heard the call from outside, and I heard it. Someone screaming throughout the forest is who? Clara immediately came out with a gun and a dish inside and looked around and then showed him a man who was lying on the ground with his hands and feet cutting in pain. But it wasn't Tony, friends, but someone else. He immediately sent Swift in and dragged her on the stretcher. He was badly injured. Both of his legs had large wounds to stop the bleeding, and he sealed them with a taco. In the morning, Swift came into the room to see the man, and then he opened his eyes. Actually, he didn't feel right from the beginning, so he said to his wax and wax that we have to let him go. Because Dad always says, don't trust a stranger. So Clara said, If your dad was here, he would do the same thing, and he gets a camera. So they don't know anything about him right now. What has he come to do? Then he went to the other side of the station. Then he got back to it, and then he got back to it. The day is longer than he thought. Then he saw something around him. No, if you got it. I just took his number and went to the station. The man we see has come to his senses, and now he has started to speak loudly. During the conversation he told his name Luke. Clara did not understand a word he had come to do in the forest. Because there are very few people here. He said that he came here because he came here. Actually, he is a photographer, and he has read a lot about the forest on the internet. That is why he came to cath it in his own camera. But in the middle of it, his car broke down and he began to walk.
Right.
But then suddenly something happened to him. He saw what was right, but he did. Go. Whatever it is very dangerous. Weight is high enough, and whatever food he gave me, they were very deep. I don't see anyone walking around, but he is convinced that he will be the same wolf, so why are the wolves so heavy if he is? Even if he sees it, he is just looking at it, and still nothing seems right to him. Leo's wound is getting worse, so now Clara says we have to get him to the hospital quickly, or his condition will get worse. But there is a problem in this. They actually have to go out of the middle of the forest where the car is parked, and they have to walk to get there. And if they find the wolf in the middle, it can be dangerous, but there is no choice. And then both of them brought him out like a third. He came, and then they went on their way to the forest. But in the middle of the road, Leo's wound starts to hurt again, which he seems to have done quickly. Both are afraid they will not return. Hear the voice and bring it home immediately. They came there because they will think, but they will not be able to. There is a path for them to follow, which they are now. I wore a mask outside my house. He was caught in the net. Then they will be thrown around and killed. She also carries a gun at night. And unfortunately, there was no stir. There was still no name on the leaf. And in the morning, we see that Head Sharif's problems are getting worse because he's getting constant mischief, most of which were girls who have been missing the most in the last week, wherever he tries to get things done. And then they repeat themselves. And then they repeat themselves. Before he finished, he did. They go back to where they probably shouldn't have gone. Then they found themselves in the shadows of the earlier ones. Then he saw her first and he told her. And then he turned his foot into a trap and took it away. And then the hands got stuck. So that's what it means. And they were created there. It will be in the hands of Tony, so that he could catch the murderer. But when the morning came, so the ranger at this station noted the voice of the gentleman's leaf. And he saw it, and he went to find it. He also went out on the same road, and we see Clara. And now she's out looking for Tony, because now the clock has stopped. She's got to find him herself. And she's got a map in her hand so she doesn't get lost in the woods. She showed him a rabbit that was trapped in a trap, but she did not want to kill him. But her circumstances became such that he closed his eyes and killed him. The same thing I never liked from the beginning, to take someone's life. But when she says to her husband, she is here because she loves him so much, but now she is also missing, and she will not give up. He keeps looking for her, but only for a moment. Because it was, next he got Tony and his friends killed him. But when he sees it, he's a little overwhelmed. When he saw her, he knew who she was. So he went home and ran away. It wasn't all about him. He wasn't a photographer. Rather, he is a man. And then the lady gets her hands on it. They were dead, but when they had things. Then he saw it immediately. On the base contacts, the whole force calls around Clara. You're home? I got it, but Leo got it all figured out. He was prepared, and he was prepared. And when he knew it, he knew it. He kept his car, but he refused. He says he is only. Then he will tell her that he is his daughter. Luke says the truth. If his leaf was in his work, he would not harm it, but he interfered in my work, and I ended his game. Now I will do the same for you. So I went to his soul. Then his daughter took the innocent child, and when they saw him, they saw him. Then his daughter was killed first. I had been in my house for the past week. The fire burned in him, and he died. And then he will give them the pain they still have. Which right now, you see Clara, she really is. Believe it or not, there is a fire in it. We shall see the face of him. He did what he saw when he died. Then he began to pull himself down. He is in pain, and he is not in pain. From the eyes of the wicked. Then he turned his face and his face. In so much, the police has come out in front of whom he has loose face. Throwing the skin and seeing it, everyone shudder. Gone but Clara. Neither did anyone say anything, nor just go quietly in the corner. Sit down. Now what is left to lose everything? Something he has lost already, and with this story, how did you feel about the story will definitely tell us by commenting in the next video. Thank you so much watching Pace Oat.